Rudowski, Dorothea, 1763 to 1839. Mendelssohn's daughter deserted her husband and eloped with her lover, a fairly well-known German poet, Friedrich von Schlegel. And she became Catholic, and 3 others converted. And by, I guess I don't know how many children he had, but I assume he had 5 or 6. Only 2 did not. And within a century, all had converted. So I think that really tells you, even in Mendelssohn's own situation and time, his ideas were not sufficient to solve or bridge this issue. I don't think it was his intention that his, I don't think it was his intention that his descendants should convert. I don't think that was his intention. Again, I would read the material in Rudowski on this. This Friedlander, 1765 to 1834, even offered, by the time he was finished, to be baptized. And the Lutheran pastor, a fellow named, I think his name was Teller, laughed at him, and so on, for even, proposing this, because he wanted to make qualifications that they wouldn't follow the Trinity or the divinity of Jesus, as these were against reason and so on. So he tried to remain a Mendelssohnian, but he really, even he was not able to effect it. For instance, he thought in terms of deleting references from Zion to Zion from the prayer book. This would be around 1812. Well, it was left to this individual who we have here in our textbook here, Israel Jacobson. Now we have a passage here on page 45. I think you'll find it here, after the tortured drifting material, on Israel Jacobson. The date 1768 to 1828. So, well, the dates just show how time is moving. When did Mendelssohn die? In the 1780s, right? So these people are living 30, 40, 50 years after him. They were alive in his lifetime, but they're moving, forward after that, and things are changing very rapidly.
What time relation did Maimon have to Jacobson?
Who?
Solomon Maimon.
Solomon Maimon is probably. Well, let me see. We have some date for him, don't we?
I was looking, but I couldn't find him.
Yeah. Well, Solomon Maimon. I think we have here. Well, he's publishing in 1792, and we don't seem to have a. Does Rudowski give in his index? Does he have an index, Rudowski?
Yeah, but I'm not finding Maimon.
No,
M-A-I-M-O-N?
Yeah, M-A-I-M-O-N? No. Well, I think Solomon Maimon is probably a contemporary of Jacobson, maybe a little bit older than he is. I would think that this 1792 is sort of towards the end of his life. He's probably more the age of Mendelssohn, a little younger. I would think he's about, he goes to meet Mendelssohn. I think he would sound to me about 10 or 15 years younger than Mendelssohn. But he's sort of in between Mendelssohn and Jacobson. That's where I would put him.
I asked that because it seems like.
But you could Google him up in a minute. You got to Google here. You got your thing. It's not plugged in. Okay. You don't have any. You don't have a line, huh?
She's not wireless.
Huh? She's not wired.
She's wired.
Wireless.
Yeah.
It's not working right now.
Okay. Well, you could Google it in a second and you could find it. Just put in Solomon Lyman and you'd get it. Wikipedia would give it to you. Wikipedia would give it to you in a second. Solomon Lyman would be important enough to make Wikipedia, actually. So. Even I'm in Wikipedia, so. Which surprised the hell out of me.
You put it in there yourself.
No, actually, they say nice things about me. I was really impressed by myself. I really am. Someone wrote about me in a, in a sympathetic way. I really am. Jeepers, they could have been nasty. They were nice. So.
Is it accurate?
I thought it was pretty accurate. Yeah. Are you kidding? About as accurate as you can get. I was really surprised, yeah. I didn't write it, I'll tell you that. No one called me up or asked me anything. Okay, Israel Jacobson, he'd be a philanthropist, and he started getting interested in 1768 to 1828. He first founded his school in 1801. That would be around the time, just after Solomon Lyman was probably finishing up. So he, at a school, at a place called Zionism. My book's falling apart, so I hate to leave it. But, okay, I'll just get to it quickly. Zionism. Is it Ian or Owen?
Ian.
Yeah, well. This is in Westphalia, wherever that is. Somewhere in the middle of Germany, I think. So I guess Napoleon had taken some of these areas over, and Jacobson was involved in the school system there in some ways. So as your introduction tells you, he was the first person to build a temple. This guy took it all on himself. He did all this himself. You know, I think it's horrifying, frankly, what he did. But this is what happens when new ideas go, I think, rampant. Because who is he? I don't like to say he's a nobody. I've been called a nobody apparently online, so I don't want to call other people a nobody. But who is he? Why can he take it upon himself to do it? I guess
He's rich.
He's rich. And he built the temple with his own funds and placed an organ in the Protestant Christian manner inside.